Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint this teacup with books. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's one of my favorite subjects. I've got my husband, Mark, with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's going to chat tonight, so if you've got questions while I'm painting, you can ask those, and I'll try to answer. Let's get started. I'm going to be using a 9 by 12 inch canvas today. This is the Fredrix mixed media canvas boards. I have not done anything special to it. I've just transferred my design onto here. So we're ready to go. This one's going to be a little bit long for a Tuesday night, so possibly, I don't know. I haven't painted it ahead of time, but I'm estimating. I'm going to be using a few different brushes from Princeton tonight. This is the 8 Bright, 4 Bright in the Aspen series, and then this one is the 6 Angle Bright from the Summit series. And I think I might grab another larger flat for some of the large background areas here in a minute. I've also got a 3 round, a 1 round, a 1/4 inch, and a 3/8 inch angle, and then the 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch blenders from the VelvetTouch line. So let me grab. We'll possibly use this. I'm not sure. I've got a lot of little areas back in here to get into, but we'll just go ahead and start with this one. This is the 12 Bright in the 6100 series. Let me go over our colors. We've got burnt umber, burnt sienna, yellow oxide, cadmium yellow medium, phthalo green yellow shade, ultramarine blue, and quinacridone magenta. And then I've got unbleached titanium and titanium white. And down here I've got some glazing medium. I can't see the bottom there, so I think it's showing, but I'm not sure. Is the bottom of the screen showing?
Yeah.
I can't see it. There we go. There it is. Yeah, it needs to go up. Needs to go up quite a bit.
Oh, wow. On your side, that's weird.
Yeah, I can't see it. Perfect. Thank you. All right. I thought about, I might have put in the background with like a burnt umber, but I wasn't sure if it would be too dark for the teacup. So I just went ahead and we'll just paint around the teacup. But that's an option that you could do. You could like paint the background in black or burnt umber or something, a really dark color, and that will work. All right, so I'm just going to paint in the background first, and let's go ahead and grab, I got my brush wet. I'm going to grab a little bit of the burnt umber and my phthalo green and a little bit of ultramarine blue. The ultramarine blue and burnt umber will make a gray, and then the green obviously will kind of tint it green. Get a little bit more blue. So just a little bit of burnt umber just to kind of tone down the color. That's what I want right there. It's like a dark gray-green color. And let's go ahead and just put this on quickly. And I'm going to spray my background with water. You could do the background any color you wanted, though. You didn't have to have this green. You could do any of the colors. I would say if you're going to change the colors, just pick a color that you've already got going in your book. So like if you wanted to change the color of your books to make them brighter, you could pick one of those colors and mix a gray with it and use that for your background. So I wouldn't go too far from what we're using in our colors, though. That's a good rule of thumb. It's just to kind of use what you've already got. One of the colors or a few of the colors that you've already got going on in your painting. All right, I think this is going to be just about right. I think I'm going to grab a little. I definitely didn't mix enough of it, though, so I'm going to have to grab a bunch more of that. A little bit more of that. We're just mixing on the go. I grabbed a little bit of unbleached titanium also, so we've got some of a lighter version here that we're going to work with. Okay, let's try that. That's good. Okay. So I'm mixing that in, and I'm literally just dabbing, turning my brush in different directions just to get a good kind of interesting background pattern going on. We're probably going to have to give this 2 coats, it looks like. So I'm just going to use the edge of this brush to do the top of my teacup there, paint around it. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good.
How are you doing? Well, I should say, other than the mishap just before the start of the show.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Sorry,
Well,
we started late, but
Not that one, the important mishap.
what happened?
My corkscrew ran out of power.
Did you get it out?
Yeah, I got it out. It's charging right now, so
But no wine for you.
no wine during the show, so
No, you're going to be all 100% sober for this.
the dad jokes won't be as awesome, I don't think,
Not going to be as funny.
to me.
They never are funny to me anyway, so it's okay. Is that what you're saying?
No comment. They do want to know, how did the yard sale go?
Oh my gosh, so good, you guys. It was like I want to say it was like a community blessing party because we gave stuff away, and I'm not kidding. Like literally gave stuff away, and we put bare bottom prices on everything and blessed a lot of people. So, and it was great because it blessed us too, because we got all of it gone, and we got down to 2 carloads and took the rest of it down to Goodwill, and now we parked our car in the driveway for the first time. In the garage, sorry. For the first time in like, what, 2 years? Yes. So, so nice. Yes.
It's the little things in life.
I know. Well, when you live in Arkansas and you see that summer heat coming on and you own a black car, yeah, I am looking forward to parking it in. I do not want to go through another summer like last summer. That car was like an oven. Every time I opened that door, it was like, and just about the time you get to your destination, it starts to cool off inside. You're like, oh, dang it. I'm going to have to. No amount of window shields could help much. So, no, it was great.
It was worth it. We were in pain.
Oh my gosh, so much pain. We were like, it's probably been 10 years since we've done one of them. And
easily, yeah.
And a lot changes in 10 years. We decided.
A lot happens from the 40s to the 50s.
It was like the difference between having my first child at 21 and having my second child at 31.
Our last child.
Our last child, yeah. I said third child.
No, you said second.
Oh, did I say second?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jordan.
We still mix them up even without saying
Jordan's in there somewhere. Oh gosh, that was awful. Sorry, my brain I'm trying to do this and think. This is not easy. Yeah, so yeah, it was painful, but it was worth it. And hopefully we'll just purge a little bit better from now on and not get ourselves into that situation again.
Yeah, I think we're getting into a good habit of, as we don't need things, that we're trying to find good homes for them and pass them on and not hold on to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
All right, so doing a little bit darker around the outside edges. I might have gone. No, I guess it is pretty that much dark. I don't know. Pretty that much dark. That's a interesting sentence. I'm gonna lighten it up just a little bit around here, and this is drying fairly fast on this canvas. So I'm just as it starts to dry, or has dried, I'm kind of adding. There we go. I just want a little bit of a lightness right around the teacup, just slightly, right in this area. So just blending into that dark.
And as you're going again, you're twisting and turning the brush in different directions to give it that, so you don't have patterns.
Right. Yeah. It's not just a solid
straight line.
Straight line. And that way I don't have to really blend it either. It's, I'm wanting that pattern. So, okay. So right there, you can see that's messing with it while it's trying to dry. So I got to leave that part alone. And before this dries though, I need to get in here because otherwise I'm going to have this little area be a different color. and I don't want that.
So someone said that they've heard that you're supposed to give away, or you should give away clothes that you haven't worn in a year. And I would tend to agree with that, but you kind of hold out hope that you'll be able to fit into them again.
Right.
Someday.
Right.
Maybe. And then 6 years later, you've gone in the wrong direction. They fit even less.
Yeah.
Like I have my leather jacket from high school. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I ever fit into that thing. Because I haven't really bulked up.
I looked at my wedding dress and we held it up and my waist was like this. I'm like, oh my God. What the heck? How did I ever? You're right. I did not. I don't know. And I thought I was fat, of course. Yeah. You're like, yeah. I've learned to appreciate the size I am at.
Yep.
Because in 20 years, I will wish I was still that size. So, yeah. Just.
But the stuff that I
appreciate a healthy body. That's it. Appreciate what you can do.
The good old days.
I don't know. All right. But yes, it went fabulous. It was very, very good. Mm-hmm.
The looks on people's faces, they're like, how much do you want for that? I don't know. What do you want to give me?
I know.
And they looked at me like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
they're like, I don't want to offend you. And I'm like, no, trust me. You're doing us a favor.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to carry it back inside the house. So
right.
What do you want to give me?
What is it worth to you? We didn't price anything. We just sat stuff out on the driveway and let people, I said, make a pile and I'll give you a good price for it. I promise.
And people were calling their friends like, hey,
yeah,
you better get on down here.
People came back three, 4 times with their trucks. We had one lady that had she probably took half of that garage, that one lady. She did. She had a pile that was like,
It was pretty big. It wasn't half, but it was a lot.
Well, it was.
Sure.
It filled up about half of it, but it wasn't tall. Like it was wide. She took all of the boys' old Xbox controllers and stuff. That hopefully some of it worked. I don't know. I told her, I was like, I don't know if any of that works still. It was in their room and it was in a big box and he doesn't use it anymore. So I don't know what still works.
Right.
No guarantees. All right, getting the brown just to do this bottom part. I'm just going to get a little bit more brown. The bottom part is right just below where this last book, the back of this last book is on our drawing here. Book's super easy to draw. I'm not going to go over the drawing tonight. Like I said, it's going to be a long one, I think. So I just wanted to kind of get a head start here and get it going fast because tonight's the finale of Oak Island for Mark.
Yeah.
He's going to leave me if I...
This is where it all comes together.
Is this where they're going to find something finally?
No.
Okay.
You're not that naive.
You're not that naive?
Not anymore.
You've been watching long enough. You've lost hope.
I know their tricks.
At this point, I just be happy with one small gold coin. 5 years of wasted Tuesday nights and...
Excuse me?
What? No. What did I say?
I think you pronounced that wrong.
Amazing Tuesday nights?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a correct pronunciation.
Got it. All right, I think that's pretty close. I see a couple of spots where it got a little spotty, so I'll probably have to go back over that a little bit. But the color's pretty darn good. I like it. So let me think. Do I want to do the books first or the teacup first? I think I'll go ahead and do the books. So we'll just go ahead and start down here on the bottom since I'm going to have to paint around this whole thing anyways, and I don't want to have to mess with it. This down here looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the 6 angle bright, and this is driving me nuts right here because I've got a little chip in it. So I'm going to see if I can find my tape and tape it up really quick. Hold on. Sorry.
And
guess
thank you to everybody
Oh, I have another one. Never mind.
who is taking advantage of the sale right now on the paintings over on Etsy.
I've never, literally, in my entire career, sold as many paintings as we did this week. I had them lined up. We had piles they went out in the mail today, so.
Ooh, they're in the mail.
Hopefully we'll get there. If you bought them yesterday or today, they're not in the mail yet because I'm varnishing them, but the rest of them are all in the mail. Yes, so thank you.
And the 25% off code goes for how long?
For till the 14th, I believe.
Okay.
So, but you have to be in our newsletter, and we'll send it out again on Friday. So it hasn't. If they sign up for the newsletter, they get a 10% discount coupon because that's what is in our welcome email. And then, but if you wait till Friday, you'll get the 25% one again, or on Patreon. I think we have it posted on Patreon for the patrons.
So I just posted the links in the chat for thankfulart.com where you can go and sign up for the newsletter.
Yes.
And if you're watching this sometime between now and whenever that's code runs out, if you select the more or the down arrow below the video, you'll see all the supplies and links to different brush guys, Amazon, and you keep on scrolling, you'll get down to Etsy and Teespring and all those good things.
Yes, the Etsy is where we're selling the paintings, and I've never done 25% off it before, so it's the most discounted we've ever gone.
And free shipping.
And free shipping, yes, which I didn't know about when I said the 25% off coupon.
But hey, it's a great deal
it is
for
a great
the people
deal,
who
and I'm
have
glad.
supported us and really
Exactly.
shown us a lot of love over the years. So
yes, it's free shipping for the U.S., not for international. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't afford to do that. I'd be getting it for free. Not quite, but it's pretty close. All right, I'm going to use a little bit of burnt umber and a little bit of Quinacridone Magenta here. I'm making kind of a burgundy. And then I'm going to add it to this burnt umber here to make a dark purple. And I'm just going to add a little bit more brown to make it more. And you could use Prussian blue here if you wanted to. Instead of ultramarine blue, Prussian blue would work similar to what we did in the background too. It's a little bit darker blue. Okay. That is not what I want. I think I want it more teal. Now that I'm looking at it, it's not really purple at all. I don't know what I was doing there. I had like literally I've been boxing paintings for the last 2 days, and so I had like zero time to even look at this until just before the video. So it may take me a while to get these colors just right. Okay, that's closer to what I want there. Now we'll add a little bit of burnt umber. So green instead of the purple. We're going to use green. We will use this purple though, so it's because we've got those dark burgundy books. We'll use that in the shadows of those. But
what do we do in the shadows?
Okay, that's good. Let me add a little bit more of the ultramarine blue. So it's got a little bit of a green tint, but not too much. Yeah, that's good. Dark. Very pretty. And I want this whole part to be really dark. This is just almost black. I actually had black. Let me add black here. I have black on my list, and I took it off, but I think I'm going to need it in my shadow area here. I didn't think I would, but I think I will. Just to get it just that much darker. Just right in that little crease there. Okay. So yes, we had a very full, busy weekend. When we weren't doing yard sale, we were doing painting stuff. Mark set up a huge table in my living room to varnish paintings because I had so many to varnish all at once. Which was great. A great problem to have.
So the black tool that you were using there is the golden gripper.
And I need to get a new one because I broke it.
Paint cap remover. I don't see it in your store, but I know it's available
Blick.
through Blick and Jerry's and Amazon, and just I just Googled that, and so you can.
It's called the gripper.
GRIPR. Gripper.
GRPR. Okay. Yep. All right. Added a little bit of white here, and I'm just going to do white right along this corner of that book. Just down right there. And let's go ahead and do it along this edge too, just a little bit. And then wipe that off and get this dark color again, and fill in the rest of this book with this dark color.
Somebody asked about our garden. It's not as good as it was last year.
It's a disaster. It's literally every time we have a weekend to do something, it rains.
It rains, or we had frost later than we've ever had frost recorded in Arkansas.
Yep.
And so rain or whatever, or, the yard sale and things just happen, and it's.
Oh, we haven't even put out our tomatoes or anything yet. And we scalded all of the tomato starts, so they're just barely starting to bounce back from that. So they're still really no bigger than what they were when we first.
The onions are doing good.
The onions are doing great.
And
they're loving it.
I need to spray something on whatever is growing out there, 7 Dust or something, because it's something that's starting to eat the leaves.
Of the onions?
Well, it's either the broccoli or the cauliflower. Again, I don't know what survived.
Whatever it was that survived out there.
Yeah, we do so good at marking our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll come around.
We just need some good weather and some time now.
So you put down some.
Okay, I'm using the edge of my brush here with this light color. I'm just doing lines. And very, very faint. So, and then I've got somewhat back here. 1, 2, 3. That little space. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 more. So I'm just going to try to split them up here. I'm going to leave this finger here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then there's the center of that one. There we go. So now we've got our little bookends. You could get fancy with this and do words on it, like if you're doing this for somebody, their favorite book or whatever. In my case, it would be Pride and Prejudice, obviously. Which goes very well with tea. Mark's even read it.
I did actually.
Mm-hmm.
And seen the movie like 9 times or whatever. I mean, I don't know how many times we watched it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I used to just work, with the TV going. And before I did YouTube, I was able to do that. And so I would just play it on repeat. I could probably, I was thinking, those people that get dropped off at the, that show Alone where they get dropped off and they have to, keep from going crazy. I was like, I've watched that movie so many times, I could probably just keep myself entertained by acting out all the parts. I'm pretty sure. I just added a little bit of black in the between those light areas there to kind of like that area is raised a little bit. I forgot to do it over here. And just added a little bit of black just right along that crease there. It's very subtle, but I grabbed a ruler just in case. So if you want to, you could use a ruler, but I don't think I'm going to need it. I found my box of rulers.
I was going to say, where did that ruler come from?
I found it in the garage yard sale.
From the yard sale stuff.
I pulled it out.
She started pulling stuff back in.
What?
So she started pulling stuff back in, and I started getting concerned.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had 12 of these for my kids' class, and I thought I had saved some back, but I got rid of all of my extra brushes, like every single one. I don't have any for Liam to paint with anymore because all my old brushes and
you are a very
student brushes are gone.
We had a young lady who was art or something like that, and she was looking for brushes, and Angela was like, "Oh, well, hold on a second. Let me go in my studio and get some."
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Don't sell your husband, please. Don't sell.
Yeah. Well, it was, now that we've got Princeton's a very generous sponsor, so they send me brushes whenever I need them, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm holding on to these anymore. You know, I have a habit of holding on to things that I don't need anymore, so.
Well, and they were
trying to get out of that.
They were
mindset.
well used.
They were some of them not so much, not as much as others. Some of them were these, just the ones that had cracked handles and things, Okay, so the next book is kind of this burnt sienna, burgundy color. That's about it right there. I have the unbleached titanium on my brush here, which probably didn't need to have on there, but that's good. That is just about it right there. So I'm going to go ahead and if I pull down like this, I kind of get those little bit of a streaks, that look like that book binding. I'll probably add my highlights that way when I get to that part. And we'll definitely need to go in here and do this crease with the darker color. Although this part is actually sticking out and in the light a little bit, so it's actually not as dark now that I'm looking at it. All right, so pulling all the way down here, then there's some funky stuff going on in this front edge of this book, so I'm just going to kind of use the unbleached titanium that I have there to mark that out. Like that part, at the top of the book where it's kind of bent over, that's what that is. Where the book cover kind of gets bent. That's right. What this is, I think. And then I'm going to go along the top here. I need to let it dry.
Is that the spine?
This is the spine here. This part here, I guess it would be the end of the spine. I'm not sure what that is called there, though.
The head?
Possibly.
There's another option, but I'm not going to say it.
I don't know what you're saying, but I probably don't want to know, so just going to move on.
Well, there's two ends of a spine. One end has a head on it.
Okay, true. Okay, got it. Check. Check. I am with you now.
Like Roger. I said, they're not going to be as good tonight.
Roger Dodger.
Somebody wanted to know what kind of tea you drink.
Ooh, yes. They sent me free tea. Okay, send me free tea again. Tell them that I sent you there. Maybe they'll send me more free tea.
Tell who?
The Boulder Tea Company. They're in Boulder, Colorado, and they have a really cool I'm sure I'm saying this wrong. Tajikistan? Something like that. Anyhow, I'm saying that wrong totally. Sorry. They have this, I don't know. Anyhow, they make their own tea. They have amazing teas, and my favorite is Blue Moon. But they sold out. We mentioned it last time. So you can't get the loose leaf still. They are still sold out since we did our coffee cup video.
Oh, wow.
That tells you anything. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, and one of our followers mentioned that they had heard about the Boulder Tea Company from this, and
Right.
so they sent
us some free
Angela
tea.
some tea
Yeah,
as a
which I
thank
was
you.
super excited.
It's like, yeah, when?
They know me.
So I don't know if anybody has gone to the coffee place where I get coffee and mentioned me, because I
True.
haven't got any free
Onyx
coffee yet.
in
So,
Bentonville.
I see where their dedication
hit up
lies.
Mark. But yeah, they sold out. They still haven't gotten it back in stock, at least not in the loose leaf. Okay, I'm leaving that bottom here because I'm going to do it a lot darker. So I'm cleaning my brush out of that light color, and I'm going to switch over here to the burnt umber. And I'm going to use that same color and just using that dark burnt umber. In fact, I might even grab a little bit of this purple and add it too. It has the magenta in there as well, which is in this color. And I'm just going to pull up in the opposite direction with this. It's not dark enough. So I'm just going to get a little bit more of that dark, a little bit of this, burnt sienna, quinacridone magenta. So yeah, we, another one of my favorites is called Huckleberry Lime and Peach Passion Fruit. Those are two that we just got recently, and I like the fruity teas, the black teas with fruit. So Spencer has liked their honey tea. He's been drinking that. It's got chamomile in it, so I can't have it because I'm allergic. And they sent me a tranquility tea that he really likes too, that I can't also have because it also has chamomile in it. But yeah, so I don't think you can go wrong. I've not had one that I haven't liked from them. So because they use their leaves. Some of the ones that I have, their leaves are like this long when they open up in the tea thing. They're like the good leaf. They're not the dregs of the little broken bits of tea. I don't know why it's not sticking to that down there. It's so weird. I can't get that color to stick down there dark. I'm going to use the black and just pull up from that. So yeah, this is definitely going to need a couple coats because it's acting weird. I shouldn't have let that first coat dry. It's kind of resisting blending right now because I think it's kind of halfway still wet, maybe. I don't know. It's still not cured. I'm going to get that original color, if I can get some, and just try to blend out this edge a little bit here before it dries. But you can see it's not wanting to set up. Okay, so note to self, don't do the whole thing. Do the dark blending first, because this part is not one to blend up into that. We don't have the thing going either, so I need to probably have that humidifier going. It'll make a difference. It's drying pretty quick on me. Thank you, hon. Well, the nice thing is this is kind of old books, so its cover's not really even anyways. So our application's probably just about right. Honestly, with all these splotches and everything for everything, which kind of bugs me, but when I look at the picture, it's very splotchy, so it's probably going to be fine. All right, that actually looks fine. All right, then let's do the next one. It's just pretty similar, only it's a little bit more burgundy. So I'm definitely keeping this wet here, this purple that we had before. I'm going to use the Quinacridone Magenta. And I'm going to add this purple to it, which was the Ultramarine Blue. And I'm going to grab a little bit of black. Just a little. Black will tone it down, make it a little bit more of a burgundy. And I'm going to add just a little bit of this burnt sienna, which has that kind of orangey tone. So it'll tone it down from a pink to more of a neutral, and that's a good color. So see how this one's more orange, and then this one's more of that kind of pink color. That'll be good. So instead of doing part of it, I'm just going to cover this whole thing. Well, I learned my lesson. I'm going to do it a little section at a time. So I'm grabbing that dark color and I'm going to pull up with that while this is still wet. So it'll blend. I like these mixed media canvases, but they do act a little bit differently than a normal canvas just because their surface is so porous. They're meant for like watercolor usage, you know, so they don't have that gesso coating. I mean, I'm not sure what they're coated with, but they're not like the normal, you know, just gesso that we would associate with a canvas. They've got a little bit of a different feel, which it actually I like because they're super smooth, makes blending really easy, and they do accept water really well. So like when I thin down, especially on the first coat, like if I want kind of a wash for my first coat, I can put it on and it will soak in really well for me. So which with a normal canvas I might not, you know, I might worry about it binding to the canvas, but not with this one. Okay, turning it and grabbing some of that dark. I grabbed a little bit of burnt sienna too. I feel like it was getting a little bit pink, a little bit too like mauve-y. Is that a word? Mauve. It is now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like Shakespeare. Just make up my own words. Why not? Okay.
So.
And this one I'm going to go ahead and just cover this area. What?
I was just going to say, so we watched Tenant the other night.
Yes. I understood about maybe a third of what was happening.
I figured out some of it, but...
Oh, my brain hurt after that.
At least the other, Inception, I understood.
Yeah.
You know, it all kind of came together.
You understood the mechanics of it.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't understand it either at all.
And this one, it's like, huh?
No. Yeah.
Ooh, so somebody wants to know about the brushes. They would like to know what's the difference between the Princeton Aspen and the 6100 series.
The 6100 series is smooth, so they're going to be a softer brush. They're similar in their snap, I would say, or I'm sure there's another word for that, but you know, in their strength as far as, you know, when you put pressure on them, if they hold up to, you know, certain things. I'm going to use the Unbleached Titanium here, just mixed with this, and tap it in here. There's just like a little faded, probably the inside of that book kind of just faded right there a little bit. Oh, I'm getting a cold sore. Shoot. I can just feel it coming on. I'm not surprised. So yeah, and this one, the Aspen has a lot more texture to it. So the bristles are thicker, and they're good for like a lot, you know, it really pushes the paint around. But they're both pretty resilient and flexible. These ones just like are for finer details. So if you're if you're wanting smoother blending, use the 6100 series. And then if you want more of a textured look, or like you like that impressionist look, then go with the Aspen. All right, so let's get that unbleached titanium here. And I'm going to go right along this edge here and just add a little bit of this color there. Just a little highlighting, and then also right in here. Really kind of just use the corner of the brush and skip it around a little bit because it's kind of broken up right there. So like, you know, the binding is kind of torn a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I kind of did it a little bit smooth, but I want to kind of break it up a little bit so that it looks like it's kind of worn down. And then I'm going to get a little bit of this blue, a little bit more of this blue, and do a little bit brighter right there. Okay. All right, we're getting there. Looks good. I'm going to use the more textured brush here. I'll show you kind of how you use it here in a minute. And once this is fully dry, we'll go ahead and do some texture on these upper brushes. We're talking about brushes. Upper books. Okay, there we go. And then this last one is pretty much just the unbleached titanium and burnt umber, it looks like. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Gonna do the darker color at the bottom and pull up with it. Hello, Fitzpickle. Hello, buddy. My puppy's under my feet here. Licking my toes. Hello. Hi. Yeah, I love you too. Don't expect that to happen in reverse, though. We won't be sharing the toe licking.
No comment. There's the one thing you can be sure of.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's be clear. Just came in, wants to go back out. It's like a cat. All right, so the lighter color at the top here. Trying to get it. Oh, yeah, you need to see the puppy. He's cute. Puppy, what are you doing? Well, now you want to go out. Fitzpickle, what are you doing? Doesn't he look like a stick dog? It's like if a 2-year-old drew a dog. That's what he would look like with the all legs. He's just all tall legs. Okay. Alrighty. And the top part of this is all kind of blurry, so you can either, there's a couple ways of doing that. We can mix a little bit of the background green in with this color and paint that in, or you can do like a light glaze over that edge so that a little bit of that green shows through. Kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. They both kind of give you that sort of blendy effect. So, and then over here it's really dark, so I'm going to get the burnt umber back here. It's actually got a little bit of that pink from the teacup too with it, so I'm going to get some of that pink. Use that. And at the very top there's just a little bit of that light color, but not as light as this side. A little bit of the pinky color added to this right in here. Just going to pull out now through that wet paint and just blend it out. Smooth it out. There we go. And it goes to, whoops. It goes to underneath the cup right here, so it kind of comes about halfway under the cup right here and out. Hour in, we're doing all right. Our books are getting there. Let's go ahead and put a second coat on this guy. And I'm going to use my more textured brush now. I'm going to switch to the Aspen 6100, or the Aspen, 6500, I guess is the number, but just call it Aspen. I say the Aspen 60 or Summit 6100 for these ones because there's a Summit that's short handles too. So I think the 6100 is the long handled. All right, so I'm going to use this. I've just gotten a little bit of this lighter color that was this book color, and I'm going to just set it down in this light area and pull down all the way down. We're dry brushing just a little bit of texture on these books, and right about in here it kind of fades out, so this back end is a little bit darker, so can kind of get a little bit of the darker version of this color and just use it there. There we go. So just adding a little bit of texture. I'm going to grab the Actually, I'm going to wait to do the final detail on it, but I'm going to go ahead and highlight along here too with the Unbleached Titanium across this way.
They would like to know, do you prefer long or short handle spatulas?
Spatulas?
I mean brushes. I mean, they didn't say. I thought maybe spatulas at first. But I mean, they weren't very clear, so I went with the obvious.
Yes. It depends on what I'm doing, you know. Certain things, especially like when I'm doing like impressionist type stuff where I want to hold it a little bit farther back and use the brush to really flick around. I really like having these longer ones for stuff like that. But for detail work, the shorter handles are better. So when I'm needing to get super close, and hold it up close to the thing here for small details, and the shorter handles are much easier to handle. No pun intended. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I hate to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and put another layer of the dark version of this color in. Get the burnt umber, burnt sienna, a little bit of black, and the Quinacridone Magenta. That was this color. So just that darkest version of it. I'm just going to do the opposite of what I just did with that. There we go. Go in the opposite direction there. Just make sure it's nice and I'm using the wrong brush, but that's okay. I can dry brush with this brush too. It's just a little bit smoother. All right, so this one, now you can see the difference between the one that's been done, highlights and shadows, and the one that just I painted solid. It looks super flat, right? So to make it look rounded, we're just gonna do the highlight on the top and the shadow on the bottom, and that'll round it out immediately. It's pretty cool. I love watching this come together. Okay, so I think I'm gonna use this brush again though. I'm gonna go back to the Aspen and use that dark purpley color that had the magenta and the ultramarine blue in it. And get some of this black magenta color with it. I'm going to press that flat. And this isn't true dry brushing because I'm actually trying to lay down a little bit of extra paint here. So I've got my brush pretty loaded and it's got some water in it. So it's not fully dry brushing, but I am kind of flicking it up to get that texture at the top edge of it somewhat. I'm just going to put it on this way because it's taking forever. I got time for that. It's not wanting to blend, so I'm going to... just add an artificial little thing there. Okay, there we go. So dark. And just blended it out. If it doesn't blend for you, just add a little bit more of that middle ground color that was, and come back in the opposite direction with it while it's still wet, and it'll kind of even it out. Just don't let it dry before you do it because it'll try to lift the color a little bit, which it is doing right there a little bit. All right, then I'm going to get the same color that I used for this, just add a little bit of the magenta color to it. The same highlight. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that fun? You just made it all look dimensional just by adding a little highlight, a little shadow in the right places.
I can barely contain myself.
It's okay. You can cheer if you want to. Don't contain your excitement. It's okay.
You're getting the slow clap.
What is the slow clap for? I don't know. Is that good or bad?
I don't know. I saw it on the show.
What show?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, don't bring it up if you don't remember, because now I'm
Well, now we're going to have to Google.
slow clap. So,
You know, somebody asked if I ever do a dance. You know, my whole excitement has changed over the years in doing this. You know, because I remember, I used to dance. Was it like when we got like 100 viewers or something?
100,000 subscribers. We did.
Yeah, and you know, super chats and things like that. I used to do all that stuff. Now, I don't know.
It's just old hat. You're jaded. No, he's not.
No.
We do.
I'm very thankful, very
We are
appreciative.
very thankful. Very, very.
Maybe I need to do some more dancing.
I know. Hey, if there's, I'm not doing it, but you're welcome to it. All right, so now I'm loading the corner of the brush with the burnt umber and black. I'm just going to go along here with that and just darken up this seam between these two books. I'm putting that dark edge toward that bottom of that book, and the way I've loaded it with it only halfway up the brush, it's kind of creates that ombre effect. And I could have done it on this one too. It's just different. You're just showing you different ways of doing it. So there's all kinds of different ways to get this effect. All right. And then the unbleached titanium, I'm going to get a little bit of white. I'm going to use it along the edge of this. And I am going to use my ruler this time. Set my ruler down. I'm just going to tap right along that edge. There we go. Nice edge there. And then just kind of, you can tap again or into that wet paint, or use your finger and kind of blot it in places. If you want to kind of spread it out a little so it's not super like perfect, Okay, I'm going to use this up here.
That must be what I've been doing to my midsection.
What?
Blotting it with my finger so it's spread
So it's
out, not so perfect.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch that. Blotting it with cookies too. It kind of has the same effect.
What about ice cream?
That too. All of the above.
What if it was free range ice cream?
Adding the little bit of pink to this color, same color that we've been using, just to add little highlights on these books and along these front edges, just to kind of weather them up a little bit and make them look aged. Using the edge of my brush there. Okay, it's actually looking pretty good. I'm happy with it. And then I can use this. I'm going to wipe most of this off, and this time I am going to kind of dry brush and just kind of dry brush some of this light color over this. Give it texture. You could use the blender for this if you wanted to. If you don't have this brush and have a blender, you could use one of them, but you're just kind of trying to dry brush some of this white highlight over this dark book binding there. And again, like I said, you could do words or whatever if you wanted to on here. I think that would be fun. I'm going to get my number 1 round now, and I'm going to do some little curly cues because I see some little raised areas in this book, like embossing, and I'm just going to do little, just an indication of some little curly cues or something there. I see some along here too. I'm going to do, I'm not sure what this is actually, but I'm just going to kind of do a little decorative edge, and it's very thin down, so it's not super obvious. And then if you want to get super, fancy about it, you can go back in and go underneath all these white areas and add a shadow, and that will really pop those forward like they're embossed. So like that. Right, and then I'm going to do the blue lines on this guy. So the black and the navy. I'm sorry, I'm making the navy with the black and the ultramarine. That's the word. So I'm gonna do 2 stripes, and this stripe is going to follow the line of this line, not this line. And there's this middle part here is kind of got some decoration where the burgundy kind of shows through. It's not right. We did this part pretty dark. You're not seeing this much right there. There we go. Okay, so, and then this one's just got kind of a dark brown stripe right in here. Got too much water there. You can get that like water drops. When you wash these brushes off, they can accumulate water down here, and it'll do that when you touch the thing. It'll just kind of, so if you just use a paper towel there and kind of dab it off there, it'll stop it from doing that. Okay, so burnt umber right there. And there's some like light colored stripes right in here, I think. Just a small application. Okay, so that's it. Let's go ahead and do the tea bag here, which is very similar to this color here. So I'm going to add a little bit of this burgundy with the blue to the magenta. And I'm going to start with a little bit of that unbleached titanium and just go around the edge with it. So just kind of a lighter version of this. Come on. There we go. So there's kind of that. It's like a little burgundy tag that goes around the outside. And I'm going to use black right here to make it stand out a little bit. Oops, I'm off camera.
I was watching the whole time. I look away. You're not.
Okay, then I'm going to use the Unbleached Titanium, a little bit of the yellow oxide, and a little bit of white. This will be our tag color. It's actually a little bit more yellow than that. Get a little bit more of the cadmium yellow. There we go. Just slightly more yellow. I'm doing a light wash so I can see my detail underneath still of the design. And then I'm going to use some of this on the trim around here. Let's just go ahead and cover this whole area. Okay. In the unbleached titanium here, I'm going to go along this edge here, just to pop that out a little bit. Right in there. And then the middle part of it, I'm going to use the black and this color, this yellow and the black together, and do it very watered down, and just do these little things through. And I'm going to do it while this is wet, and this will kind of increase the transparency of it a little bit to make it look like that stamp, you know. Excuse the squeaking in the background there. Fitzpickle got some new squeaky toys for his... They came before his birthday. I should have saved him, but I couldn't. He was so excited about getting the box. I let him play with them. Oh, this is pretty. I like it. The transparency is working, I think. Making it look kind of antiqued and aged. There we go. And then let's continue with the outer detail using this purple and I'm going to go ahead and put this on pretty bright, and then I'm going to go back over it and H it a little bit later. So just, I'm not going to worry about it too much right now.
It's that extra effort we put into the videos that set us apart from everybody else.
Not everybody does the dog squeaky toys in the background.
Exactly. Or being off camera. You just have to
it's
sometimes...
the level of professionalism after 12 years of doing this, or however long it's been. I think 10 years. We have it down to a science. All right. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to, before I finish my teacup, I'm going to go ahead and do one more layer on that background. I'm trying to remember what it was: green, blue, and burnt umber. Get a little bit of the unbleached titanium for these lighter areas. There's definitely some areas where the background is showing through, so I'm just trying to get those all looking more solidly filled in. Very quickly. Go. Okay, and then get that darker version of it for up here. Everything getting a second coat. You could do this at the beginning too. It's up to you. I like to just kind of move on to an area, let it dry, and then come back to it, you know. That way I don't have to use the hairdryer during the shows, but you don't have to wait for the hairdryer, you know. I mean, when you're doing it at home, you could do this part all at the same time. And that way it'll probably still be wet too. Your paint will still be wet. So you won't have to remix it, this color. All right, there we go. Second coat down, book's done. Tag mostly done. Cup. Let's do our cup now. I watched My Fair Lady the other day. It always makes me think of cup, up. When she was making her say cup of tea. And I don't know if you've never seen the movie. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite movies ever. All right. Magenta. And a little bit of yellow, because I want to make it a little bit of more of a coral pink. And then let's try white with it and see what it looks like. And we're going to need it a lot lighter than that. And a little bit more yellow too. Okay, so that's closer. And I'm going to add just a little bit of the burnt sienna, I think, which will kind of bring it to this closer to this color. So we're kind of doing almost in between these two colors. Maybe it's a little bit more pink than this is. That's pretty close. I think that'll work. All right, so I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to get my white, and I'm just going to use the white over here with what's in my brush. And it will hopefully blend that color. And then don't let this dry. I'm talking to myself, but to you too. And just blend. That's all that color I'm going to need, that dark color. See how little, I needed to get this whole thing. I'm going to get a little bit more of it, but put it right along that edge where you want it the darkest. And then just pull towards the wet white color. Wipe off my brush. I'm going to get a little bit more white. I'm just blending back and forth. It's going to pick up this dark color anytime I touch into it. See how it pulled it over into this white area right there, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to go back over it here in a minute. And that bottom area is actually a little bit darker, so I don't mind it having a little bit of a shadow right here. Okay, do this quickly. You may have to do it in a couple of layers. Like you could do the whole cup with a, like this medium pink color, like we did this book, where you did the whole thing in the first color, like the middle ground color, and then go back over it with the highlight color and the darker shadow color. You could do that with this if you wanted to. I just covered up my rose completely, so I'm going to have to... That's going to be fun. And I definitely need to go a lot darker. This actually is almost as dark as that background right in here especially. So this will be my initial layer, but I need to let that dry. So I'll do the inside of the cup. I'm going to get the 1/4 inch angle for that. And the white always will pick up the colors around it. So I'm going to get that background color and just add a little bit of that green to this white for the white part of the teacup. Anytime you're like, I know there's a little bit of color in there. It's often not pure white ever with white. It's always going to be kind of reflective of whatever's around it, almost like a mirror, like water does the same thing. Okay, there we go. And I can go a little bit darker, maybe just right in here. Just a little bit more of that background green. Right there. Wipe this off. And just blend it through. There we go. Just the slightest, it doesn't look green. We're not going for green. We're just going for just the slightest hint of that green in this. It will make it look much more realistic. Okay, there we go. Here I can even add pink if I need to, but I'm not seeing a lot of pink, surprisingly. I would have thought I would have seen more pink, but I'm seeing the green, so. And then over here, it is much darker, so I'm going to get that green and do this part in that green with the green shadow color. And then just wipe off my brush. Once I put it down where I want it the darkest, wipe off my brush. And while it's wet, I'm just going to kind of work that wet edge into the wet white that the lighter color that I still have wet here. It's wet into wet. They're going to blend together. Gonna have to work quickly with acrylics, and you can use extender with this if you need to help extend your dry time. Okay, I'm seeing a little bit of like a gold down here. I'm going to use maybe a little bit of yellow oxide and my burnt sienna. It's like a little gold rim right here. And same thing at the top of this. This is the slightest little bit of... It honestly doesn't even look like gold. It looks kind of brownish, but I know it is gold, so I'm going to use the burnt umber, but got a little bit of the gold in there too. So this edge right here has got that, just a little bit of gold, hint of gold to it. That yellow oxide color right here. And then it pretty much just goes to brown all the way down the rest of it. How's it going there?
It is going well.
Going well? Everybody hanging in there?
Oh, yes.
Good. I know I'm going fast, but I'm trying to get it done. So
You're doing awesome, babe.
okay, thanks.
I'll give you an 11 out of 10.
Nice.
For the looks. For the effort, I'll give you a 9.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, it was supposed to be a compliment, but okay.
9? For my effort? Where am I lacking my effort?
Oh, good. Just going fast.
Huh? Oh, I see. Green here.
But you exceeded in the looks department, so.
Oh, puppy's back in.
It's back.
Hello, puppies. Okay, so I'm kind of going in with the green, and then I'm going to go back in with the white, and I'm not going to clean out my brush, so it's still got a little bit of that green in there. And really you're going to kind of see the green around the outside edges as it curves over into the background there. In the white, bright white now, I'm going to add little bits of bright white to my teacup there on the handle right here. It comes up. And there's a little, you can use zinc white for this if you want to. There's a little, well, I can wait. There's some highlights in this, but I want to do the background first because I may end up going over my highlights if I don't. I messed up that back edge, and I'm looking at that. I need to bring that front lip of the cup up a little bit. It's kind of wonky right here. Bring that up a little bit. And then there's some like highlights through this white here where it's picking up some reflections of something right here. Not sure what. And same thing down here. I think it's picking up the reflection of the bottom of this part of the cup. The foot. It's taking me a minute. There we go. And then I'm going to do this dark edge over here, really dark. So I'm going to use the burnt umber and some of that. If I can get some. No, I need to clean off my palette. Got no room left to mix. That's still wet there.
So the questions are going to come.
Okay.
So I'll do it preemptively.
Oh, my poor nails. I forgot I didn't do my nails.
No. It is a Posh New Wave glass palette.
Oh, yeah.
It's available in the Amazon store. Link down below the video. And when you look at that, then you can also scroll down and you'll see the scraper is a suggested recommendation from YouTube, from Amazon.
Yes. No, I meant to do my nail. I'm sorry. It just made me think of it. I forgot to do my nails today, which I didn't have time. So that wasn't happening, I guess. But
mail out paintings or do your nails?
I need to hide this disaster. This is what happens after a yard sale weekend. Yeah. They're not looking too good.
Or this is what happens after a Thursday tutorial.
Thursday tutorial, yeah. That's how it started. That was Thursday. So we started out Thursday abusing my hands, and it went all through the weekend. We continued. I'm going to get a little bit more. I'm going to put the burnt umber down here so just don't have to get up into that wet mess up there. All right, so I'm going to get a fairly decent sized brush. I want to be able to cover a fairly good amount of space here. So I'm going to get my magenta and burnt umber. And then a little bit of that yellow, but I'm not as worried about the yellow because I'm trying to get a dark color for my shadow. And sorry. So I'm going to get a little bit of black. Add that. Okay, let's try that. I've got the dark on my brush, and then I've got just a little bit more of the black on the very tip of it. I'm going to use it, get a little bit of glazing medium, so it'll go. I think that'll work. I'm going to use it right down there. When you put that on, it's going to want to dry pretty quickly, so wipe your brush off, get a little bit more glaze, and push it around with this. Just a wet, not too wet because you don't want to lift it off. There we go. Just smoothing it out. Glazing is kind of one of those things you just have to kind of practice it doesn't come naturally sometimes. I'm going to add some of that medium color up the top here where I don't need it as dark.
So somebody asked, glazing without the glaze?
No, I had glaze. I added glaze. And then I'm going to grab the medium color here in my white. And I'm just going to kind of work it this way. Kind of started out glazing and now I'm kind of just working wet into wet. Decided I didn't like that look as much. I wanted a little bit more blending this way, so there we go. That's better. Sorry, I'm losing my voice all of a sudden. Alright, so I need to blend that out. I'm just getting more of that white pink color. Blend over that. Before it dries. This is kind of tricky. Not gonna lie. And this is why I didn't I kind of figured this was going to happen. And going over the whole thing again. I'm just going to have to put those highlights back in. That's okay. Very light now. I don't want to push this paint around too much. I'm just trying to smooth out those edges, so just very lightly touching what this paint is still wet enough that I can move it around. If it's not moving, if it's not blending, if it feels sticky at all, just stop, because then you're gonna lift. All right, then while this is wet, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my highlight color, that white light color, and I'm gonna go through this area right here and add my reflection of my handle. And then this one's got the reflection down here of that base of the teacup. Right there. Kind of comes up and across. And then right here. What time is it? Okay. We're doing okay.
Of course you are.
I'm trying to get it done in 2 hours here.
Watch it tomorrow.
Okay. Good answer. No, we're good. I think we're going to be fine. We're almost done with this. We just got a little bit left to do. I'm going to get some of this color and I'm going to just go over the top of this area here of my tea bag and kind of just add a second like overlay of a lighter tone over the top of that burgundy area. Although it's not too bad now that it's dried. It's really not bad. And then I need to add the shadow of the tea bag, so I want to grab some glaze in black just on the tip of the brush. Get a fairly good amount of that dark though. Okay, so right there, just blending it back and forth until there's not a whole lot on this end here. touching the back end on the paper towel will help draw off some of that color. And then I'm going to kind of start at an angle a little bit so it's not too obvious where it starts. Just go over underneath it all the way here and here. And then wipe it off. And then right up here at the top, just gonna kind of blend that out, or I can use my finger, whatever. Perfect. Okay. And I need to do it right here too. Under the teacup needs to be darker. Still not quite dark enough, so I'm gonna go with this black right there. And around the corner of it. Just pull it out a little bit. Alrighty. In some of the purple and black here. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit right here. I noticed that this a little bit farther down right there. And just using that wet brush just to kind of pull it up and around. Okay. I need to fix that little bit right up there where I got that white inside the, or the burgundy inside the white area on the inside of that mug. Go. I didn't need to bring that up like that. I did. Did that too high. In fact, I think I was trying to even it out with the other side, but I think what I need to do is bring the other side down. So I need to get some of this background green and go across there. There we go. Get some of that background green. I'm just trying to kind of fuzz out that bottom, that back edge of the teacup a little bit. I kind of brought it up a little bit too high. It should go more straight right there. Okay, there we go. A little bit better. Well, I'm trying to get that covered. It doesn't want to cover that white, does it? Come on. I have to do 2 coats on it. We'll see. Getting that white. I'm just going to go over this one more time with the white, let it kind of blend into that green there. Okay. There we go. Okay. Very good. All right, and then the teacup rim, we kind of lost that rim edge when I brought it up, so I'm just going to put it back in right there. And below that rim edge, there is a white line. Just a white highlight right there. Very thin. Okay. Good. I'm going to use this white again, a little bit of glaze. Go ahead and do this over again right here, this little highlight right there, and right here. Kind of fades out right here. So let's do our rose and we'll be done. So the rose, I think, is going to be fairly easy. I'll just use famous last words. We're going to add just a little bit of the blue to make it a little bit purplish. That's good. Think. And I'm going to do it in like brushstroke style. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to it so that it flows pretty well off my brush. Thin it out a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and draw it in though because I want to get this right. So I need to, well, the main rose is going to be right in here. Right there. Okay. Just kind of needed a starting spot. All right, so I'm going to set my brush down and draw a little petal and come down a little bit and draw another one down here. Connect them. Another one right there. And then come this way and do another one down here. Kind of one right there. We get a little bit of the darker. Have it for right here. So where this one ends, you're going to start another one right here that comes around. Right there. There's a smaller one right here. Kind of in a darker color. And then the inside of the rose is right in here. Right there. Kind of connects up to this. With some random little things. Wiping that out, getting that lighter color again. And then I'm going to press my brush tip down and pull it around right there. Connect to right up underneath that. And then fill in the center of the rose a little bit. Right there. Get a little bit of darker color. Okay. Okay, that's about all I'm going to do there. I'm going to get my smaller brush now, number 1 round. I'm going to get the burgundy with the burnt umber, a little bit of blue. Curve it there. This is where doing those brushstroke worksheets that I did before, you know, the video that I did with the brushstroke worksheets. This will help tremendously with stuff like this. Okay, and then there's little outlines around the flower, very loose. I can't really see this because it's covered up by the tag, but I'm guessing there's something out here. There we go. And then the leaves are going to be right in here. A little bit too much there. You might wait a day before you do this. And the reason why I say that is because the paint will cure underneath and harden up, and that way if you do make a mistake or need to, you know, adjust anything, that you won't have the as much risk of it lifting off the background color when you wipe it off like I just did. I caught it pretty quickly, so it didn't have an issue, but you know, sometimes that can happen. So and then our leaf is right here, just tucked in here. There's a stem coming out into there, and then the leaf is coming down right there. I really need to wait and just paint around this later, but I've got this color on my brush, so I'm just going to do it now. I'll probably have to do it again later, but it'll help me know where to put my green. Okay, there we go. I might bring this out just a little bit more. Okay. Let's get my 3 round here. green and some white. That's pretty close. I was thinking I might have to add some blue to it, but I don't know if I will. It's pretty close to that green. Go a little bit darker than that.
So somebody asked, so do you have a brush stroke worksheet?
I do. I believe you can get it on my website. It should be for free on my website.
On the thankfulart.com?
Mm-hmm. And it'll be on my traceables page. I think it's at the top. But there should be a search box you can use too. And then the video is called 5 Essential Brushes, I think, or something like that. Brushstroke worksheet. But I believe all of that is in my, the video link is in my Beginner Basics video playlist. So if you go to that playlist, the Beginner Basics one, it'll have the link to the video if you want to watch it. But it definitely will help you with stuff like this. This is all brush strokes, basically, you know. So, I didn't leave enough of that background pink right there, but I don't know that there's a whole lot I can do at this point. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't like that. Trying to take it off without wiping too hard. Okay. I think I'm just going to do it right here. Yeah, I did that freehand, so I kind of missed out on a little bit of that, leaving a little bit of that background in there that I should have left. So just when you do it, I would let that teacup dry, like I said, wait a day maybe, and then come back in and do this part, the decoration on the rose on the teacup, and then that way you know it'll be dry completely before you do anything. It'll be easy to erase. And then I might shadow a little bit on that part of the teacup down there, just the leaves and everything. And this part. With that burnt umber there. There we go. Adds a little bit of that book color too. So just a little glazing there. If I want to add some of that book texture, I'm noticing that there's like some, book texture here. You could come through with the stippler and just stipple in some of that. I'm going to weather this a little bit too. I'm going to get a little bit of this burnt umber and quite a bit of glaze. And I'm just going to kind of dirty up the corners of this tea bag, or tea tag, I should say. So it doesn't look as clean as it does right now. It's gonna take my cloth and just kind of wipe around it. Okay. Aside from the rose, which I'm not loving, and I guess I need to do the tea bag itself.
I was going to say, you're going to have to add the string. Yeah.
Yeah, the string. Okay. So let's start with the burnt umber here. Burnt umber and white, and burnt ultramarine blue, burnt umber. We're going to make a gray. And then I'm going to use the unbleached titanium with that. I'm going to use that kind of dark-ish gray to do the first part. And it's twisted, so it kind of goes up and out, and then it ropes around. Serpentine. Just kind of keep an eye on where it's heading to, so it should end up right here. So I can kind of start that, and this goes right up alongside this edge of this teacup. So right where that teacup corner is, it hides that whole edge. So be sure you do that there, and then okay, there we go. So we've got our dark in there. I'm sorry. I'm clearing my throat every 5 seconds here. It's like getting the white and unbleached titanium here. And I'm thinning down my paint a little bit so I can, just a little bit. Since I got this round brush here, and I'm going to go right on top of that and just kind of add a little, leave a little bit of that dark, add little ropey bits. And then I'm going to go back in while that's wet with that dark shadow color, and just kind of go back in here, and wherever this is kind of crossing over, just add a little shadow where, mostly on this side of it. Not sure what happened right in here. This kind of got messed up right there. Now pure white. This is getting really thick. I don't want to go much more than that. I don't want it to look all thick. Get a wet drop there.
Someone asked, were you using 2 different types of white on the tag? I think you used yellows, right?
On the tag, I used cadmium yellow and yellow oxide with white. And I washed it on so it was thin.
Okay, and then on the string, you're using just one white?
I'm using white and titanium, unbleached titanium, and then the gray for the, which I got it really thick right here. Let me see if I can get that thinner. Yeah. Just got really thick right there all of a sudden. I'm going to have to go in that same area though. Probably what you could do is do one of them kind of a darker color and go all the way down with that, and then, which I kind of started doing, but I don't really like this much. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to get it looking the way I want it to. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's not really exactly what I wanted, but I'm going to get the white again, a little bit of unbleached titanium, and just go right on top with just a little bit of it. Just in some of these highlight areas. All right, I think we're done. I'm going to zoom out there. I think we're good. We're close.
Somebody asked about your signing pens and if there was a white signing pen.
There is a white signing pen that I used. It's a Molotow or a Posca. I think I have both here. Posca. This one's a little bit big for signing, but I think they come with smaller tips too. Let me look. I might have a smaller one. No, that's other Molotow. 1.5 is about the biggest you want. Oops, that cap came off. I'm gonna use a pen. I'm gonna use a. Oh, one thing about I'm gonna use 3 round here to sign mine. One thing about this the pen is that I would not use it. I'm not going to use it anymore on light canvases because I had it run on one of mine. Only one of them did it, and it's probably because it's a newer painting and it didn't have time to cure. You know, I think if it sets for long enough, it kind of sets up. But it's an alcohol-based ink, the one that I use, the Pigma Sakura pen, and on the darker canvases, you don't even notice it if it runs at all, you know. But on the lighter canvases, it was really obvious. And there was one that when I varnished it, it kind of tried to run. I fixed it, but I was not happy with it at all. I was like, oh, no, no, no. So fortunately I caught it and fixed it. But all right, I'm going to sign down here with this, and I'm going to come up just about a 1/4 inch so that if it's framed, I can still see the signature, or you can put it at the bottom if you don't want to see your signature in the frame. It's up to you. or you can put it on the back. Some artists don't sign on the front at all, so it's up to you. There we go. I'm going to call that good. Oh. I'm going to fix this right here. Go ahead.
That's super chat for all you newbies wondering what the heck is everybody saying moo for in chat. It's because of the cowbell.
That's right, baby.
We need more of it. So tonight we had 2 super chatters. The first one is Laura, and she says, "Thank you for keeping the candle burning. You make our lives so much better, Mark. Much love to you, Angela, Mark, and your family. We can't live without you."
What? It's awesome. Thank you, Laura. That's all sweet.
And then from Patty says, "I've learned so much from you. Thank you both."
Oh, wow. Thank you, guys. That's really sweet.
Again,
it's very special.
It's the awesome jokes that you learned from me. So thank you, Patty.
Well,
and thank you, Laura.
We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you watching for so many years with us and hanging out and sticking around live for our live streaming. And I'm gonna shadow on the rim of the teacup. And where this is coming down, I just noticed right here. There's a little shadow on the teacup.
And that's a real bird outside the window making all that noise.
Yes, it is. He's telling his girl he found a good spot for. Come check it out.
So we put the patreon.com/AngelaFineArt link down below where you can get traceables, bonus content, more bonus content, all kinds of good stuff. So check it out over there. The challenge image is starting this Thursday.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then also, I'm not sure when are we doing the Sunday bonus video.
We are moving it because we've gotten our little Liam's coming in to see us.
Liam and his handlers.
Liam and his handlers. Our grandson is coming in, and so we're gonna skip the daisies with the Galaxy Sky. That one will be pushed back to July, and I've already rescheduled it. So you're gonna have to let the artist know.
I'm gonna have to let the photographer know.
Yeah, it's a local artist or local photographer from Arkansas that has let us use his photos. So I'm really excited to paint that one. All right, just darkening up that little shadow right there. I kind of separated out the shadow around that rim there, added the shadow on the teacup, which ended up doing a little too dark there. There we go. Soften that up a little bit. All right, there we go. I'm going to stop because I keep seeing things, but, I think we're good.
So we got a couple questions real quick. Mm-hmm. So how did you fix your signature when it bled?
I got a little water and I wiped off that part of the glaze. And I just did a very, very thin glaze over it and then let it dry and then had to glaze it again. But the second time, once it had just a slight bit of glaze over it, it seals it. But yeah, I had to wipe off the glaze with the water in that section and just thin it out really thin,
And then the paintings that we've shipped, most of them are on the canvas boards.
Right.
And so shipping them, you wrap them in...
I wrap them in glassine paper, it's called. It's kind of like parchment paper, but it's meant for artwork, and it protects them. And wrap that first in that. Don't use plastic wrap, because plastic wrap, or bubble wrap. But bubble wrap, plastic wrap will stick to it and create textures. So the glassine is flat, it's not going to do that. And then it's kind of waxy. Sort of almost, but not wax. But it's not wax paper, but it's anyhow. And then I put cardboard on either side of it to protect it so that it's sturdy, and then put it in bubble wrap. So either a bubble mailer or bubble wrap and then a box. So that's how you do it. Glassine, cardboard, bubble wrap.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, we're done.
Yep, we're done. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. And we will see you next Tuesday. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. And we'll be back. And we will not have videos in May and June on Saturdays. So don't show up on Saturday if you're a normal Saturday person. Sorry, we're going to be working on some other things on Saturdays. So, but yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.